to come on to the dais. I now call upon Dean Student Affairs Dr. G. Santoshi to occupy the place on the dais. It's my privilege to call upon Sri K. Raghuveer Sir, Principal IIMC, to call upon to the dais. It's my great opportunity to call upon Professor V. Vishwanathan Garu, Chairman IIMC, to call upon to the dais. I take this as a privilege to call upon Chetan Sharma Sir, HCU, Chairman Placement and Advisory Bureau, Central University. Please. Yes, sir. It's a great honor to call upon Professor Anthony Patrick Sir, today's chief guest, Chairman BOS Department of Commerce OU and Public Relations Officer. Distinguished guests, respected dignitaries on the dais, eminent scholars, delegates from across the state, colleagues and dear students, a very good morning to you all. It is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you to this prestigious international conference hosted by Indian Institute of Management and Commerce, an autonomous college. We are deeply grateful for your presence and truly delighted to bring together such a diverse and distinguished gathering of minds from different nations, cultures, and academic traditions. IIMC was founded with a clear vision in 1973 to promote excellence in education, foster innovation, and contribute meaningfully to society through knowledge and research. Over years, our institution has grown into a vibrant academic community committed to intellectual rigor, ethical values, inclusivity, and global engagement. Hosting this international conference on navigating the complexities in education, research, and technology through Viksit Bharat 2047, a reflection of our continued dedication to collaboration beyond borders. In today's interconnected world, challenges and opportunities are increasingly global in nature. Platforms such as this conference are vital as they encourage the exchange of ideas, interdisciplinary dialogue, and partnerships that can shape a better and more sustainable future. The theme of this conference is both timely, significant, addressing the issues that demand collective thinking and shared responsibility. We are especially honored by the presence of our esteemed guests, keynote speakers, session chairs, delegates whose expertise and insight will undoubtedly enrich the deliberations over the coming days. I am confident that these discussions, presentations, and interactions during the conference will inspire new perspectives, meaningful collaborations, and impactful research outcomes. Once again, I warmly welcome you all and wish this conference every success. Thank you very much. Let us all stand up for the prayer. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subrajoshna Pulakitayamini, Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhasini, Sumadura Bhashini, Sukadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Thank you very much. I now call upon the dignitaries on the dais for lighting of the lamp. Thank you, dignitaries. I now request our Chairman, Professor V. Vishwanathan Garu, to give the welcome address.
Good morning, dear friends. A teacher has a weakness. He would like to speak till the bell rings. This is not the occasion. I am supposed to welcome you. Create a mind, a mood, a motivation, an inspiration so that at least we can hope for a 1% change in the levels of commitment and discipline. So I thought that I have some ideas to share, not so much about the topic, but about the urgency of the situation. How far they would be relevant, I do not know, but maybe my age gives me the freedom, so I thought I can share some ideas. Seminars will enthuse us to do some brainstorming, will awaken and help us to consider our orientation, our purpose, our challenges, our own contribution, instead of remaining being a consumer. Help us to appreciate better the challenges we are facing, both internally and externally, national level and international level. How well we are doing our job, I think, is the single most decisive factor in shaping the future. Can we do it better? Can we improve? Can our closing balance be higher than the opening balance every day? Is a point to be considered. A truly developed India will be defined by what we produce, how we think, how we innovate, and whom we include. Hopefully, we should not include anyone born in India. If we can navigate complexity with clarity, conscience with value orientation, and constructive contribution with cooperation, then Vikasit Bharat 2047 will become not merely an aspiration, but a shared national achievement. It is the quality of education, of teachers, of students that can make a difference. So what is your map, my action plan? And can you, MAD, make a difference to wherever you are? Designing technology that serves human dignity and social good is a challenge. Technology changes much faster than the rest of the segments of the society. And usually, instead of using, we misuse, abuse, disuse, and non-use. How are we going to tackle the situation? We must cultivate long-term thinking, because nations are not built by short-term outcomes, but by sustained commitment to people and institutions. Continuous learning, updating and upskilling will surely contribute to Vikasit Bharat. Why 2047? Have the targets fixed and honestly try to achieve them 5 years earlier, if not much earlier. Patriotism is very essential. What can we do to create an increasing awareness as seriousness seems to be getting diluted? Distracted, digital or otherwise, youth seem to be having their own priorities. Non-serious nature of our students worries me, maybe worrying you. Non-serious nature of students, at the risk of being misunderstood, is diluting whatever positive results we can think of. Unless we change that attitude, I am afraid we will not be able to enjoy the fruits. Probably, I am not supposed to talk about something. It's a very sacred thing, corruption. But is it not something like pouring things in a bottomless pit and hoping to fill it up? It's not easy to make everybody efficient urgently. Can we as a nation agree on targets and for various reasons, such as ideological differences, bury the differences and work for the nation? Should politics dominate the scene? Education builds minds. Research builds knowledge. Technology builds tools. But values provide the direction. Without integration and ethical clarity, progress can become fragmented and unequal. Technology is transforming every sphere of life. Its first complexity is speed. Innovation is advancing faster than education systems, ethics, and regulations. The second complexity is inclusion. Whatever be the reason, rural, urban, or rich, poor, or this, that, and so on. If technology benefits only a few, it cannot build a developed nation. Technology must therefore be human-centered, ethical, and inclusive. Probably the last point, or maybe one more point. Promote interdisciplinary research. Encourage collaboration between science and humanities, technology and ethics, education and neurological sciences. Complex problems require multiple lenses. You must have got an idea of what I was trying to share with you. Thoughts are like seeds. When we sow the seeds, it's the beginning of a journey till eternity. Purpose of the seminars is to make you active, think, contribute, realize your potential, and really put in the required efforts to realize your potential. Best of luck, Swasti.
Thank you very much, sir. We are delighted with your words. I now call upon conference convener Srimati S. Shravani to give the convener's report.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, dear delegates, faculty members, research scholars, students, and participants. Good morning to you all. I'm immensely delighted to welcome you all to the two-day in education, research, and technology through Viksit Bharat 2047. Myself, Yes Shravani, convener of the conference and assistant professor, Department of Commerce. It is indeed an honor to present the conference report as the convener of this academic gathering. This two-day international conference brings together experts, academicians, researchers, and students from various disciplines, particularly in the field of commerce, management, and education. The objective of this conference is to provide a meaningful platform for academic interaction, knowledge sharing, and research-oriented discussions. This year, we have received an overwhelming response to the call for papers. A total of 83 abstracts were received, out of which 70 full papers in different disciplines like commerce, management, economics, English, Telugu, Sanskrit, computer science, library sciences, physical educations were already submitted from various colleges and universities across different states, including Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, Assam, Maharashtra, etc. Along with international submissions from Oman and the UAE, making this conference truly an international in nature. This enthusiastic participation reflects the growing importance of educational research in addressing contemporary challenges. The conference program includes keynote speakers by eminent speakers, technical sessions, and paper presentation tracks. These sessions are designed to encourage academic dialogue, critical thinking, and the exchange of innovative ideas among the participants. I sincerely express my gratitude to our honorable management and our principal sir for their continuous support and encouragement in organizing this conference. I also extend my heartfelt appreciation to all my staff members and student volunteers of IIMC who worked tirelessly to make this event possible. I request all the delegates and participants to actively take part in every session and contribute to this, making this conference academically enriching and successful. Thank you one and all. Have a great learning and all the best to all the presenters present over here. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I now call upon Dr. G. Ramadevi, conference co-convener, to introduce our chief guest of the day.
Good morning, one and all, respected dignitaries, on the dais and off the dais. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Patrick Anthony. He is working as Chairman Board of Studies in the Department of Commerce, Osmania University. He has 26 years of teaching experience in the commerce and management discipline. He is a passionate corporate trainer in the areas of soft skills and management. He is also public relations officer of Osmania University. He is a moving encyclopedia for research methodology. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I now request our chief guest to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be in your midst there. And I know certain things happen to be a blessing. I would consider myself to be very fortunate and blessed. Someone whom I met as a student 30 years ago attended his class at the PG Center at Mahbubnagar when Achalapati sir invited him for a guest lecture. And there was an aura. People said, this is Professor Vishwanathan. And I sit next to him today. I think that is a blessing. Another person, I learned things from everyone. Probably somebody has to talk about CorelDRAW, designing all these things there. Amazing speed with which somebody who organizes and works is the person who was there next to me, that was Raghuveer sir. And how to make a vote of thanks and how do you present and how do you make even that to be very presentable. When I was a student, I learned it from Sudhakar sir, who was a registrar of Ambedkar Open University, worked in a lot of places. And something which draws him to come again here is he was also a faculty at IMC. And both happen to be very good friends, Raghuveer sir and him. And I see them pulling Prashanta ma'am's leg at times there together. And so nice to be here. And Raghuveer sir didn't call me to give his retirement speech or eulogies about him. I thought I could share some of my thoughts and my association. 2 days back, I met a girl, happened to be one of my cousin's wife, and she said she studied in IMC BCom Honors. I asked her, did I do the admissions here for her? Said she doesn't recall much because this was one particular hall where we used to regularly do the counseling for students on a regular basis. And this is one college which had that BCom Honors course. For some reason, I think over the years, the course got diluted and we had that kind of a charm where entrance was conducted and counseling was done. And I remember at times it could go somewhere at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning as well. Students keep shifting. And there was always that demand, like people wanted to study in IMC college. And a few things that I thought, I was trying to recollect my thoughts of my association. I still remember there was a table where Sudhakar sir was there, Raghuveer sir was there, and my teacher who taught me finance in my MCom, Venkatramana Reddy sir was there. And all three of them, I mean, Ramana Reddy sir introduced me to these two people for the first time. And he would have a bundle of chocolates with him at the evaluation center, chiclets and whatever things that were there. And it was very much kind of a thing. They made my process like, you know, you talk about an induction program into how the valuation is to be done. And Raghuveer sir has helped me and Sudhakar sir has helped me, and that was my ingraining into teaching that had happened. And a few things that I could recollect about Raghuveer sir is he's one of that rare and exceptional figure in the field of education. And for more than 4 decades, he has worked tirelessly for the cause of students, not driven by recognition or personal gain, but by an unwavering commitment to teaching as a life's mission. He belongs to that rare breed of educators whose pride does not come from material accumulation. I see one common, you know, we were driving the Chetak for very long. I mean, with compulsions, probably he's traveling in a Maruti today. But I know the kind of simplicity that he leads. And, but from watching the students grow, he contributes meaningfully to the society. There was one word Vishwanathan sir had used. People don't like us for being called as mad. But he is one more person whom I see who always makes a difference in others' lives there. So to occupy positions of responsibility, and I say this not as a ceremonial remark, but for nearly 3 decades of personal association with him, what really sets Raghuveer sir apart from this is he lives that identity of a teacher every single day. Not just he has been a principal or something there. I know he's approaching 70, but he looks much younger than me and Chetan sir put together as well. He makes a difference in students' life quietly and consistently, without expectation and without publicity. These days there's a lot to do with Insta, Facebook and other things, but this is one person who doesn't do it. And his leadership at IMC has been exemplary, not because of authority, but because of service. Now, he embodies, in its truest sense, the philosophy of servant leadership in education, always placing students, faculty, and the institution above self. I'd been in my 28 odd years of teaching to various colleges. I've seen people giving a bad mouthing about the management, about the principal. They all look goody-goody in front, but behind they talk a lot of things. But let me tell you honestly, this is one college I doubt anybody would say a word about. I worked in Ethiopia for 2 years, and there was this, I mean, when she used the word Oman and UAE, there are a lot of my colleagues who migrated to Oman now. Now the thing is, that country is called 13 months of sunshine. I used to wonder how you have in the calendar 12 months, how can there be 13 months of sunshine? They follow the Egyptian calendar, and what you have is every month is 30 days, and that extra 1 day that you get is another day, and that is how they call it 13 months. Now I'm trying to draw an analogy as to the ones who come from the other colleges that are there. There is 13 months of sunshine even at IMC college. Other colleges, let me tell you, they give you a summer break, they don't pay you the salary, but this is one college which doesn't pay 12 months, but it pays 13 months of salary. I mean, shamelessly, I'll tell you, it was Thirumal sir who said he's coming for some signatures or something there. I said, I need bribe from you. I mean, sir used the word corruption. I wanted a pleasant bribe. I mean, he was surprised. What is that? Patrick is asking for bribe. I said, I want a pickle bottle, which you all prepared during that summertime, you know. He involves all the faculty, non-teaching. Sir used a word, in development you require inclusion. I tell you that ritually he does. I don't know if I can use that long knife stuck to a wooden frame. You cut those mangoes that way there. I mean, that is how he says, I can do it very easily. That's what Raghuveer sir. I find the entire faculty, you know, you have some places in hotel management where they have this cake mixing kind of ceremonies. But I find that pickle mixing is a ritual which is done very regularly at IMC college. Speaks volumes about it. And today, you know, we go about with looking at that word called corporate social responsibility, where organizations are encouraged or sometimes required to give back to society. It doesn't come willingly, it's a compulsion. You know, you make it a part of the tax, whatever, but under his guidance or leadership, I know that for decades, he practices something even more profound, what I call it as the academic social responsibility. Now the thing is, every theme he chooses for the conference or seminar is something which I found to be socially relevant. Every academic initiative is rooted in purpose. What is especially noteworthy is that he has never sought sponsorship for prestige or visibility. Now, wherever I go, I get logos of 3 or 4 sponsors. I don't know, it's my observation. I was trying to recall what happens at IMC for whatever seminars. I mean, there could be some empty chairs, but let me tell you, a few of them left to the class. Probably I would have understood, but he wanted to convey to me. Now we have the classes going on. We didn't compromise on the classes. So those teachers have left so that they go for the classes. I mean, I understood, but he wanted it to be conveyed to me in staunch words there. Now, the thing is, instead, his greatness and joy has always been in encouraging researchers, nurturing quality presentations, and creating platforms where ideas matter more than optics, what is pleasant to the eyes. He is an exemplary team leader working quietly with colleagues supported by a committed team and ensuring that academic calendar is not merely filled with events, but with meaning. I mean, I was counting in a year you have 365 days, 364. Then you get 200 odd working days. And I follow him very closely on Facebook. And I tell you, every day you get a banner which says that there is some student-related activity that is happening in this college. There's an NCC, there's an NSS, there's food distribution, there's a Rakhi ceremony, there's a Ganesh Chaturthi, there is something to do with Annadanam. I'll tell you, apart from the social relevant things that he does, I tell you, he didn't call me, he doesn't know what is there in my script, but let me tell you, the kind of things that he does in the name of CRT and developing, what you call whole person education, what you call it as holistic education is something which is given out here. And year after year, the meticulous planning, the thoughtfully designed. I mean, I sat there next to him. I had 2 people. You can spend your whole year in the library. But if you spend time with wise people, I'll tell you it's worth more than spending time in the library. And probably he called me, and some people were saying it's like relatives asking for coffee, and sir didn't offer a coffee. That's what sir was saying there. But the thing is, sir said, nice. Let them come, few droplets will fall on you. We'll have to go there, come up again. Instead, we can have some time. And I appreciated that. I can share something very relevant. In my years, sir has filled me with certain things. I think I wouldn't have got this private moment sitting next to him. And next came Raghuveer sir. He shared something very personal. Probably I'm enriched. That is my takeaway that I have from this conference. This word chief guest and other things, let me tell you, it is very burdensome. And just imagine a student from MCOM days, 30 years back, and I sit to a person who's Bhishma Pitama of Commerce, and I call myself as a chief guest. I think I wouldn't put any more words. I would only tell Raghuveer sir has called me, and thank you for that. So I just asked the theme, what is that you have for the academic diary that they get released every time? I found one's entire freedom fighters in there. Once I found all the industrialists in this country. And let me tell you, sometimes I prepare for quiz programs and other things there. Where is my source? I picked up one of the diaries of Raghuveer sir, and I picked up all the famous industrialists. And I took 4 clues, and I said, can you go about it guessing who this industrialist is? Right? It was learning to me and learning to the students as well. So the thing is, he does that holistic range of student-centered activities. It's a silent testimony to his unwavering commitment to education. Now, from this podium, let me tell you, words may indeed fall short, but it must be said that IMC family stands stronger today because of vision, integrity, discipline, and selfless dedication, which works. I've seen other principals also and how he has managed. I mean, he remains a source of inspiration, not just only for this institution, but to very idea what an And I have my friend and long-standing colleague. We worked together at Badruga. We had times wherein we had potluck. I mean, sometimes we talk about potluck now and then, but we had potluck almost every day with Chetan sir at Badruga when we used to teach. And he was one of that pioneers who has introduced this IT specialization in MBA. He was that pet boy of Shekhar sir and all that stuff. I remember when he moved out to IP and continues to work at the HCO and had a lot of portfolios to his name there. Now, I don't know, normally I find the keynote comes first and then the chief guest, but I'm happy that I would be able to listen to him the kind of things that he would kickstart this two-day program. So, to the academic affairs dean, Thirumal Rao Garu, then the student affairs, we have Santoshi ma'am, and conference convener Shravani Garu, and Department of Commerce co-convener Ramadevi Garu, and people from library, informatics, information, and the organizing committee, advisory committee, all departmental coordinators, faculty members, distinguished guests, and paper presenters representing various universities, colleges. My God, when she read out, she said Maharashtra, she said Assam, she said almost all the south states. It looks like Commonwealth of States, or more so, it looks like people who have come from right, left, and center. I remember the numbers, 83 abstracts and 76 full-fledged papers which have come. That's amazing, which talks about, so distinguished international and national delegates. I know there is that jugaad with the phone, which message is getting online as well. So we have the respected librarians, physical educational professionals. This is one ignored lot, researchers, scholars, and dear students. Ladies and gentlemen, of all I say good morning now. It's both an honor and responsibility to stand before this august gathering at IMC, an institution that has served the cause of higher education with commitment and vision since 1973. I am 51 and this is 52. Your motto, that is applied knowledge leads to growth, it's not merely a slogan, it is a philosophy that India urgently needs as we look forward the future there. Now the brand identity and academic niche that the IMC has built over the decades is truly remarkable. From its inception in 1973 to the present day, IMC's journey has been one of vision, courage, and consistent commitment to quality. I wouldn't talk much about that BCom honors, but such initiatives have stepped the institution's distinct identity in the higher education landscape. More than anything, you have a strong and ever-growing alumni network that has nurtured over the years, and alumni who have carried the institution values in the corporate world, academia, public service, entrepreneurship, and who continue to serve as ambassadors of its academic culture. It's my sincere hope and belief that IMC will continue this meaningful contribution in the years to come, strengthening its legacy, deepening its impact, and shaping generations of learners who are not only professionally competent, but socially conscious and ethically grounded. I thank the management and the organizing committee for inviting me for this two-day national conference on navigating complexities in education, research, technology through Viksit Bharat 2047. Now again, I tell the chief guest title sounds too heavy for me, and I thank Almighty for leading through the career nearly 29 years and to see this day happening at IMC. And when I look at this hall, where there are scholars from education, management, library, information science, physical education, technology, it's all about interdisciplinary research. I do not merely see participants, I see the intellectual nerve center of India's future. I see what is called as 2047, not as a date, but as a deadline. And sir said, why not 5 years earlier to it? Yeah, nothing wrong if you could achieve that target. Now, if we are in 2026 and we are talking about 2047, a year where we are waiting to celebrate the centenary of our independence, we are 21 years away from 2047, the centenary of our independence. In the life of the nation, 21 years is just one generation. A child born today will be a young professional in 2047. And if there are students whom we teach as educators, researchers, administrators, innovators, leaders shaping India, the real question is whether India will reach 2047. The real question is what kind of India will reach 2047? It's bound to reach. Will it be an India that merely claims to be developed, or an India that genuinely functions as a developed nation? Right from my school days, we always had this LDC, developed and developing countries. Now we are using the word Viksit to say that we don't want that tag of developing anymore. We want, or we loved, or we would cherish our name to be there among the ones which are called as developed countries. So what does development mean? We often equate development with GDP figures, infrastructure, rankings, or global visibility. Today we say we are the 4th largest GDP. The day is not far off, we'll say 3rd, and we'll end up becoming 1st. but there are a lot of other issues that we need to go about addressing. Access to medical care, access to primary education. There are plenty of other things that are there. Is everyone getting a square meal a day? If this is not happening on paper, we could sound like paper tigers calling ourselves to something which has got high trust, high quality society, the society where innovation is a habit, not an accident. Systems work by design, not by exception. Citizens do not hope for quality education, being a consumer of global knowledge to a creator of global knowledge. So we have to move from these two things there. And the transformation can happen with education, research, and technology when they can move together. Proudly say that India's achievements in 1947, but let us also be honest that in 1960s, more than India, today they are global leaders in technology, innovation, and advanced manufacturing. One reason that lies in is in research and development. South Korea invests nearly 4.8% of the GDP in R&D. India still invests around 0.6 to 0.7%. I mean, people may compare the size of Korea to size of India, the complexities, the population, the rural base. There are a lot of other things. We can't compare India with that. And if you take it on the linguistic basis, each state could become another country altogether there. But the thing is, there is something which we got to address. While many nations strengthened primary education, vocational skills, applied research, we created islands of excellence. Maybe we talk about the IITs, the IIMs, premier institutes, but we have left a lot to be done, wherein we have a workforce which is underskilled. The result, India became service provider to global innovation rather than architect of global solutions. This is not criticism, this is diagnosis, and diagnosis is the beginning of reform. Libraries, knowledge, and democratization of access. Now, I'm particularly pleased that this conference is giving importance to library and information science. Libraries today are no longer silent storehouses of books, they are dynamic knowledge ecosystems. Now, in the journey to Viksit Bharat 2047, the critical question is not whether knowledge exists, but who can access it, who can interpret it, who can apply it for societal benefit. Open access, open educational resources, digital repositories, and research visibilities are not academic luxuries. There are instruments of educational equity and intellectual democracy. A nation that weakens its libraries. Today, I don't know, we do have physical libraries, but I think most of them are used to reading it on their mobile. I mean, there could be e-books, there could be a Kindle, or there could be people still love reading with the blue rays, spoiling their eyesight, reading it on the mobile. But I think the library sciences have to rework. What do you do? I mean, I would see people getting very harsh, students coming and discipline, don't make noise, put back those books at the racks, get to the accession register, don't disturb me in searching for the books. I think you've got to find ways in drawing those people to that temple of learning, which is to do with the library today. And there are these instruments that are there. Now, I would tell physical education and sports, which is also an interdisciplinary part. A developed nation is not built only by economists, engineers, and technologists. Madam Sir, Patrick, I think you're overweight. You got to work on that. And let me tell you, I have taken that decision really seriously. And let me tell you, for the past 7 or 8 months, I have reworked on it. And I don't know if someone would tell, I have lost 20 kgs in the recent past. Let me tell you, you have to take certain things really seriously. Really seriously. I have a long way to go. The doctor or the endocrinologist who's working with me says your BMI is still on the higher side and you'll have to work still longer to stop the cravings and other things there. You go a little longer in your weight reduction, the U-turn will be a little longer. But now you give up, again you'll start putting on. I mean, I'm working on that. And he would tell me about my health and other things because he has got a concern for me. I never felt that why is he behind my weight or my health kind of a thing there. So it's something to do with constructive criticism. As teachers, when we tell it to our students, sometimes they take it like, I find parents, and in one of the malpractices thing I have come across, a parent fighting for a kid. My child was not caught malpracticing right from school or +2. till degree. How is that she is caught in degree? I said, she's caught. That's it. And what is the punishment? The entire semester exams are cancelled. How will you cancel? I'll call that MLA MP. I said, go do what you want. This is the norm we have. She's caught and she's caught. Simple as that. Nothing more than that. I mean, I'll tell you, if you unscramble the word, I mean, there are only two people whom you can blame for the evils in the society. One is the teacher and one is the parent. These are the two people who can pamper. I mean, I still go about spare the rod, spoil the child. The younger generation wouldn't like that. We call about alpha generation, beta generation. We all are the Generation X people. We have seen, I mean, the silent generation and the other things also are there. Cohorts are there. But the thing is, these two people, if they seriously work, you unscramble the word teaching. You know, what is the word that you get? You get cheating. If there's cheating happening, he said silently a word called corruption. A teacher, you know, if you have prefixes and suffixes, there is one word very quietly sir said. I mean, I don't know how many principals are interested in getting their faculty growing intellectually, getting the tag of PhD. I mean, I got another thing that sir said. This year we had 3 faculty members who have got PhD. And he said, within the rules, and see if this guy can get an admission. But within the rules, he said. He's very much concerned about the faculty there, letting them grow intellectually. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you, what brings real satisfaction to the teacher is not that prefix and suffix. It's not you call yourself as a doctor or a professor, or you have a tag. Now, if I look at the number of Microsoft certifications my friend Chetan had done, and the number of degrees he has got, the number of PGs he has got, I mean, he could have umpteen number of things before his name and after his name. But at the end of the day, what really brings satisfaction of teacher is not the prefixes and suffixes, but the position your student occupies in the marketplace. That is what we are here for, nothing more. You get there? I'll tell you recently, I don't mind telling it, it is out of concern. Someone did PhD with Sudhakar sir. And that boy is experiencing depression, family-related issues, and he's nowhere related with him. Somewhere, sometime you would have guided him in his PhD. And out of concern, let me tell you, he was calling me. There are times that I picked the calls. There are times mine was in a class or in a silent mode, and he himself was feeling it awkward and said, can we really help out that kid? I don't want to see my kid suffering with depression. That are the words that sir has used. It's not that relationship that he studies for 2 years, he does PhD, or he's here for 3 years. It's a kind of a lifelong bonding we have that student. It's much thicker than, we say, you know, blood is thicker than water when it comes to family bonding. But the teacher's bonding with the student is much stronger than that. And these are examples which I'm quoting just to tell you how it works. And they got to be role models. I don't know how many things you would take with what Vishwanathan sir has said. But the thing is, you know, if you go about with having those things carried with you, take away from here, and not just you leave it from this year and forget about it. We have attended on that 19th of Jan 2026, that particular seminar. But the thing is, if you really ingrain, ruminate, reflect upon the words he said, I think you'll be a different person altogether. I mean, I wouldn't go further, but let me tell that I'm glad to see that physical education and sports science are represented here. What does sports teach? Let me tell, Vivekananda's birthday we celebrated. I'm told he was a very good cricketer. And you know, if he would have lived little more years, I don't know what he would have said. Sir said about sowing thoughts for eternity. And he is the person who said that it's your thought which makes the words, words which make action, action when repeated becomes a habit, habit goes about becoming a behavior, and that determines your destiny. So if you have to change the destiny, you have to change your thought process. Whose role is it to change the destiny of students? It is the teacher's role. If you have to change the thought process, I think the destiny gets changed. And who was the person who said it? It's Swami Vivekananda again there. And he said, you can become much stronger by focusing on a football field. He talks about sports there, right? Now, what does sports teach us? It teaches us discipline, teamwork, ethical competition, respect for rules, and what many people are wilting. They lack what is called as mental resilience. Now, when a nation invests in physical education and in indigenous sports, it invests in character building at a scale. Now, Viksit Bharat is not only about smart cities, it is about strong citizens. Now, the real enemy I would like to speak on this as well. The biggest obstacle to India's progress is not lack of talent or policy. It is the chalta hai mindset, the acceptance of mediocrity. Now, excellent does not tolerate good enough. There's a story where you have three scholars visiting a bridge under construction. One saw stones and labor, another saw drawings and mathematics, but the chief architect looked at the river and saw the connection. He knew that if the bridge failed, communities would remain cut off from opportunities. Why am I taking this anecdote? To tell you that you educators, researchers, librarians, technologists, the sports enthusiasts that are there are the architects of the India's bridge to 2047. If education is mediocre, if research is done only for promotions, if technology lacks ethics, the nation cannot cross into this developed status. We must replace jugaad with precision, compliance with commitment, navigating complexity. We require a triple helix. The problem of the 21st century do not respect departmental boundaries. Climate change, AI ethics, educational reform, public health, these are interdisciplinary challenges. We are all talking about ESG. So to address these, we require a triple helix, three things in it: education to create capable minds, research to generate original solutions, technology to scale impact. And binding this helix are library and information systems ensuring credibility, continuity, and access. So research must move from library shelves to public life, from conference halls to community impact, from safe topics to significant problems. And digital transformation, when we talk about, it should be with what Sir said, is it has to be human-centric. Digital transformation is not merely about adopting tools, it must be about rethinking purpose. For educators, it means learner-centric pedagogy. For librarians, it means transforming metadata into meaningful discovery. For researchers, it means leveraging data without surrendering ethics. For sports scientists, it means integrating technology with human intuition. Technology must amplify human values, not replace them. So call for action to the faculty members. You are not syllabus finishers, you are the future shapers. To the research scholars, ask not only, is this publishable? Yeah, there's going to be a book of abstracts they're going to release, but ask if this is impactful. To the library professionals, I would tell, you are the custodians and credibility in the age of misinformation and disinformation. You have to go about it telling your students what is fact-checking. Now, to the physical education professionals, you are shaping discipline, health, and national character. And to the students, degree may not give you employment, purpose will give you a legacy. As I conclude, I leave you with a few questions. Does your work solve the problem of 1 million people or merely fill a page? I mean, without problem solving, there is no research. Today we are concerned more about numbers. How many publications? Which journal? We are saying ABDC, we are calling it Scopus. I mean, we are saying it should be in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And let me tell you, today, it has become a big commercial interest. It's not easy publishing, it's not difficult publishing articles today. There are people, I mean, that is the fate of this unemployed society. They say, pay me some money there, I will ensure that it comes in the leading journals. 50,000, 40,000, there is a price tag, you can get publications. Now, if you say, I mean, there is a guy who would say, I would do your entire registration till your PhD, there is a price tag to it. Openly, brazenly, I get what is called WhatsApp group messages. People saying, I'll add you as the 5th author, I'll add you as the 7th patent guy. Pay me this money and you get a patent. And if we go about with this rat race of ranking and other things there, I think we got to relook, are we into this rat race? At the end of it, we will end up as a rat, nothing more. So the question that I would ask you is, are you competing locally or with the best minds globally? Have you settled for a working solution or have you demanded excellence? When did you last step aside from your discipline and comfort zones? Does your work move India towards 2047 or simply maintain the status quo? Now, the India of 2047 will not ask how many conferences we concluded. It will ask what changed because we conducted them. Let this conference end not with certificates, but with collaborations. Not with papers alone, but with partnerships across disciplines. Vikasit Bharat will not be built in silos. It will be built together, paper by paper, classroom by classroom, idea by idea. I congratulate the family of Indian Institute of Management and Commerce for organizing this timely and meaningful conference, and I wish all delegates 2 days of deep reflection, courageous discourse, and transformation or transformative outcomes. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for your affiliation towards our institution, affection towards the persons, and your respect towards nation and teachers. I now call upon Srimati S. Anita, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to introduce the keynote speaker, Professor Chetan Srivastava.
Good morning, one and all present here today. It's a great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Chetan Srivastava. Professor Chetan Srivastava, Professor, School of Management, Central University of Hyderabad. He has 25 years of professional experience. He is currently Chairman, Placement Guidance and Advisory Bureau of Central University of Hyderabad. He was also a proctor, Central University of Hyderabad. He has been conferred various prestigious international and national awards like MTC Global Outstanding Management Teacher Award 2019, AIMS ICFI Best Teacher Award, Best Professor in Marketing, Icon Dronacharya of the Year 2019, and AGBA USA Distinguished Global Scholar, Distinguished Alumni Award. Under his guidance, 7 scholars were awarded PhD. He is a passionate teacher by choice. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I now request Chetan Srivastava, sir, to address the gathering.
All of you. Sorry for my voice. Since last 4-5 days, but I was praying God, at least make me better today so that I can attend this program. So that was one thing to go in. I was in world's oldest city 4 days back. You know, that was called the city of Vishwanath, the Kashi. I was there on a selection committee for BHU, and I stayed back a day more so that I could see something more. And that was my 8th visit in last 1 year. You know, something was pulling me there always. You know, we talk about spirituality, we talk about things to go in. That's one side. I mean, second side was like the thing which India, the rich heritage, the culture, that was a city, you know, it's called the world's oldest city, and still surviving, doing wonderful, doing things to go in. So here we have with us on the desk, you know, Professor Vishwanathji. I mean, I still remember that day. I was in an orientation program at University of Hyderabad as one of the participants, and sir was my, you know, evaluator of teaching practice. You know, that was something to be done, and yes, micro teaching, very true. So when that micro teaching was there, and you know, that's how we heard a lot about him. But that was my, you know, closest encounter, and he really gave so tips, and that went on well. And you know, Professor Sudhakar, who's like a very good elder brother or mentor, or whenever I had anything to go in it, always talked about. Patrick's, you know, a man, you know, we started, was with the Badru guys was talking about. We always shared a relationship of brothers to go in, and still today, we always talk to each other on many fronts to go in. And I was so happy to see him here today. I told him the same thing in the morning. You know, August members on the days of the days. Well, we talk about, you know, the beautiful theme which this conference envisaged, which talked about, you know, Viksit Bharat. You know, what is that we are going to do, and 2047. And after Vishwanath sir's talk and Patrick sir's beautiful chief guest address, nothing much is left over for me to talk. But let me put in some things which I personally feel closer to my heart. When you talk about Viksit Bharat, I was the director international of my university, where I was the face for the university to the world, and we were talking about international collaborations, international things to go in, so on and so forth. So, I always used to tell people, NEP talks about internationalization and everything to move on. So, but when we are looking into ancient India to go on, we always had, you know, globalization, internationalization is a part of us. We said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world was our family. So we had that vision, that thought to go in, and we had international trade, commerce, everything to go on. And we were actually Vishwa Gurus. When the world was yet to learn civilization, we had universities, which talked about teaching people, and as big as 70 different subjects. We had the world's oldest universities, Nalanda, Takshila, much like 720 BC. And you'll be surprised, we had almost around 11,000 international students there learning different subjects. We were actually seen as top of the world. Then what happened? Why are we now thinking about being Viksit? Where did our development go on? Where did we miss? That thought we should always go back and do to go in. Because somewhere we have missed, the kind of thing where the country which we survived, in spite of so many things to go in, invasions, we talk about things to go and so on and so forth, but still we are working on to it. Today I had to talk about India being Viksit Bharat, navigating the complexities. That's a problem. When you talk about complexities, that basically talks about, the complexities in education. Now, here I'll tell you what went wrong. Macaulay, 1885, talked about, his address to British Parliament is well documented. Is there in the London Library also, and we have seen it across. Okay, so he said, my dear, he was addressing the Queen and things to go on. If we want to really conquer the country like India, it is difficult because they have a robust and thought process. If we really want to rule them, we have to change the mindsets, the education. Then they introduced the Macaulay system of education. A system of education where everybody gets into it, input, output. The process churns. People who are absolutely rote learning, who are into something which, we are losing that creativity, innovation, and thought process. We had our country, we were the ones who gave zero to the world. We were the ones who talked about solar systems. We were the one who talked about the calculations of time, Carl Linnaeus. We were the one who had, science, technology, metallurgy. You talk about anything, we had it. So, but somehow we lost that because the system of education have moved on. Now, when we ought to reinvent this, the second part, research, and when you talk about research, where did our research go? What happened to us? If you see, we really do not have very big breakthrough innovations or research. We may have small, right? But look, we had at COVID times, we could come up with vaccines, such short times. So when you talk about this to go on, we do have potential, we have that in us, but somehow to move on. It's like, the Hanuman, If you remember that Ramayana's episode, those Ravana took over Sita to Lanka. Somebody has to go, and Rama was. Well, we think Rama to be the god, but somehow he always wanted somebody to do it. So Hanuman, had that capability, potential to move on, but he was not aware of it. He needed somebody, the Jamwant, to motivate him, to recognize his potential, to unleash that and do it. That's the role we all are here. We should unleash the potential in the students. Every teacher has to do that. That's our responsibility here. The day we identify the potential, hidden potential, every student will have something in them, everything. Unleash that. They'll do it. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Unleash that potential, make them realize, direct them, and they do the job. Much ahead of it. So that's the research. Talk about it. Get them that innovative thing to go on. Technology, of late, if you ask any parent, they said, oh my God, technology is bad. Because they are unable to take off their children from this, smartphones, mobiles, because for anything, it's this, cricket, Patrick sir was talking about Vivekananda ji in cricket. Today, people are playing cricket on this, football on this, chess on this, everything on this. Where are we going? Everything has become thing, and parents are finding it difficult. How am I going to get out of the technology? Technology has become a bane, not a boon. Where are we moving? Your phones, your devices are getting smarter, and smarter. And we are getting dumber, and dumber. Where are we going? Let me talk about my own example. I used to be known as, encyclopedia kind of thing of numbers, people and all. I should remember 500-600 phone numbers of people. If somebody wants somebody's phone number, they used to call me and ask, Chetan, number of this person. I never used to refer a phone or refer a diary and all. Should give that number. Likh lo. Take this. Okay. Then, today, if you ask me landline number of my home, I refer it twice. Okay. Not that my memory is lost, not that it is gone. We have become so much dependent. I say home sweet home. At least I'll search. My niece, she just says call home. That's it. Siri. You don't have to do anything. Okay. Where are we moving? The technology has to go in. So if I really want a Viksit Bharat back, 2047, I need to relook into this. How am I going to use the technology to my advantage? How do I go my research for the community, for the people, for the nation, for the world? How do I talk about education, which actually, unemployment. I chair the placements of the university. I find it very difficult. I'm sorry to use that word. Okay. It's so difficult. Brightest of the students come into our university, no doubt about it. But there have been cases where many of them are not able to make it through the process. The reason, basics are missing, fundamentals are not strong, soft skills, communication, you say everything. Okay, what are we doing? We are creating unemployable educated That's a big thing. I was on, many boats. I see people with 95% marks. You know, 95, 98, 19, 99. You ask them one question. Oh my God. They'll tell you rote learning. Definition, there's a Newton's law. This is the law. Then you talk about application of it. You're gone. So the complexity where we need to really look in there, how do I convert this rote learning of education back into true introspective learning, implement into your mind. So the onus basically lines, how do I going to change the pedagogy? Can we get into the holistic learning? Can we get into the applied learning? Can we get into this? Can we go back into, the Gurukula system kind of thing? I'm not talking about religion and all, that's fine. Okay, where a connection between the teacher, like Patrick sir was talking about the connect he has with so many teachers. Now I also feel the same thing. I'm connected to my teachers so well. We could achieve this only because of the connections which we had. Not have this connections with the teachers. Are we having that connectivity with the students now? Syllabus completion, I know it's difficult, university systems, all those things are mandatory. Attendance, everything goes on. But the old time where we understood, Sudhakar sir, when he was talking to him, concerned about his scholar. Are we concerned about our students? Are we only looking at marks? Are we looking at them getting through the exams? Are we getting into that? Are we getting into really educating them for life? For really getting into it? Job, employment is one of the, outcomes. But other outcomes, are we making them great citizens? Are we making them great students? Are we making them great children of their parents? Today parents are in a lot of pain. I live in an apartment. 90% of the people there, I feel it's like an old age home. Okay. Parents living, children abroad. They're very, daily they talk to their children on video call, technology. But so difficult. Ask the parents the pain. I'm not saying bad to go abroad and all, fine, it's okay. Care and concern for the parents are missing. And, students no longer have that respect for teachers. Patrick sir was beautifully saying about the jumble, teaching cheating. Yes, because of some of us, this has come in. Look at movies here, they make a mockery of a teacher. And all those medias, earlier there were movies which always looked up at the teachers. But today's modern things, they show teachers as jokers. And that's an impact on the minds of people. I'm setting up a narrative. That narrative is so bad. I have to get out of that to go. A nation's status is actually predicted by the kind of research you get in. Are we moving on to, building a knowledge-driven society, a research which really is socio-centric, human-centric? Okay. I may have a great research, but what's the point if it doesn't reach the grassroots level? So the whole theme here, what we are talking about is, how do I take the research to the grassroots? Then, technology. We talk about digital sovereignty. Are we going to have the technology which is there? I was very early to technology. Long back. I was one of the initial teachers who used technology and all to go in. I always used the technology for the advantage. But are we really creating a digital divide? Today, data is cheaper than atta. I mean, that's what we say, right? Network is available all over, everywhere. You know, more mobiles than water, more connectivity. But when you talk about, in spite of all that, we do still have the digital divide. Technology is not being used. If you look at the statistics of usage of your technology tool, the Zigmo, what you have in your hands, the 4-inch screen, it has become more of entertainment, comedies, WhatsApps, Reels, YouTubes. My God, the statistics. And if they're doing something productive, well and good. No. Right. There's a binge watching. That's again a problem. We used to have this daily soaps, weekly soaps. Okay, I mean, teleserials. We used to wait for 1 week to watch the next episode. But today, the binge watching, you can see entire series and done. So, technology is becoming a difficult part. High tech is good. I'm not talking about it. Technology has brought in so much things. Today we talk about, health technologies, talk about technology in education, we talk about, MOOCs, we talk about so many things. But end of the day, well, you talk about it, what are our responsibilities? I'm sure these 2 days of your interactions would come to that. How do I solve this, complexities? And teacher has to be a simplifier. I'm sure the people who are here would interact and come out with solutions. How do I work on? It's always high tech versus high touch. Let there be a technology. Let there be a human touch. No, why should you not get disconnected in the connected world? We are connected world, and I'm sure we are all disconnected. I have a family, friends, their family group. I don't know how many of you have a family group on WhatsApp. There are 4 to 5 family groups. In our own family, we have extended family, core family, right? 4 groups. I have my own families to go in. But, we have our own limitations. But when you talk about it, there's a family which I know has a WhatsApp group. And when the dinner is ready, mother puts it on the group. Dinner is ready, let's have. Oh God. And then people come in, have their dinner. At dinner, everybody is checking their watch. We're losing that touch. We are connected, no doubt about it. Technology connects us. It also has disconnected us. And today we have no connections. Network is there, but are we networked to our hearts? Is important. So the whole transformation should happen where heart and the mind connects, and we all work towards Viksit Bharat. You can see that. That was one of the beautiful pictures. Dashath Venkat. It talks about the oldest city. We're connected there. We're connected to everything. Development. We're connected to nation. We're connected to the world. We can't say, come on, I'm Hyderabadi, I'm Telanganite. I'm an Indian. I'm an global citizen. I owe it to the world. That's where we are. We were the Vishwa Gurus. We were the world leaders. We were the developed nation. Let us get back the glory of India, back to old times. Let us become true Vishwa Gurus. Let us become true, people into research, education, and technology. We were leaders of technology, still are the leaders, but let us really get it for all our nation. So I wish and see that 2047 comes a bit more early so that many of us would see that day and leave this world happily. Before I conclude, CSR, Patrick sir was referring about it, mandatory today. Yes, corporate social responsibility. I always believe in one. I share that also everywhere I go. ISR, individual social responsibility. You know, once we all realize our responsibility as an individual in this world, in this society, in this family, in this everywhere, we make that difference. It would be very small. Mother Teresa beautifully says, you know, what I do could be a drop in ocean, very small compared to ocean, but if it is missing, the ocean is short of that drop. Do your part, do your basic thing, question yourself, you know, and work on. I'm right. How do I have the seva bhav? You know, and how am I going to do my role better? That's it. Start bit better. You know, each of us start doing a better on the whole, it is the best. So let us all contribute to the Viksit Bharat and move on. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your keynote words. It's the time to release the abstract proceedings of our international conference. I now request our chief guest of the day, Professor A. Patrick sir, Chairman BOS Department of Commerce, to release the abstract, and Chairman Vishwanathan sir, Dean, Convener, and keynote speaker Srivastava sir to join the release. Thank you very much, sir. I now request our chairman, Professor V. Vishwanathan sir, to felicitate today's chief guest, Patrick Anthony sir. I request our principal to join the felicitation. I request our chairman, sir. I request our chairman, sir, to felicitate today's keynote, Professor, Central University and Dean. Thank you very much, sir. I now request Dr. G. Santoshi, Madam, Dean, Student Affairs, and Conference Organizing Secretary to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. First of all, I would like to thank our today's chief guest, Professor A. Patrick Sir, Chairman, Board of Studies, Department of Commerce, Usmania University, for accepting our invitation and for the inspiring address where he enlightened about our institutions and he enlightened about the significance of GDP and infrastructure of our country and what is the role of teacher and what position the student contribute and how it will be built step by step to reach our nation's vision, that is Vikasit Bharat 2047. And finally, he enlightened on how we can build Vikasit Bharat 2047 through class by class, paper by paper, and idea by idea. And I extend my appreciation to our today's keynote, Chetan Srivastava, School of Management Studies, Central University of Hyderabad, for the insightful and thought-provoking keynote address, highlighting its relevance to Vikasit Bharat 2047, where he enlightened on the educational reforms and how the research should be both social-centric and human-centric, and the significance of technology which is driving through digital. I thank the conference covers this conference and wish you all the best for your presentations. Hope this conference will give fruitful outcome that will lead to our nation's vision, that is Vikasit Bharat 2047. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. Now the technical session 1 begins. And today for the commerce and management, we have 2 judges, Professor A. Sudhakar Sir, Registrar Retired, B.R. Ambedkar Open University, and Professor P.S. Satyanarayana Murthy Sir from Anurag University in the midst of us. We welcome you, sir, as judges to judge the commerce and management economics papers. Also, there are cash awards for the best papers. Dear presenters, all the best. Now, shortly, the technical session 1 begins. Over to convener.
Today we have the commerce and management presentations, offline sessions in auditorium, and economics and computer science in the 3rd floor seminar hall, and all the languages like Sanskrit, Hindi, English, Telugu in room number 38 in 3rd floor. I request all the participants to be present in the room number. And we are announcing the time as 8 minutes. Stick to the time and finish off your presentations. And we are going to, at 6 minutes, we are going to ring the caution bell also.
All the paper presenters can move to the front rows. Paper presenters, please move to the front rows.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to session 1 of today's international conference. And this session is related to commerce and management research paper presentations. Here, we'll call by one after the other, like one would be the commerce paper and the second one would be management paper. This kind of procedure will be followed, and every paper presenter will be given 8 minutes of time for presentation. After 6 minutes, a caution bell will be given. So within the remaining 2 minutes, you can close the session. Let me call the first paper presentation, and I'm starting with the commerce. The first person is Deepa Agarwal and Kaumudi Ayala, and the title of the paper is From Post to Purchases, the Impact of Social Media Influencers on Online Shopping Decisions. I request the paper presenters to give your, either it can be a pen drive or anything to the technical person, so that our technical team would be presenting your PPT. I request the paper presenters to give your pen drives to our technical team so that they'll present your PPT on your call. The first presentation is Deepa Agarwal and Kaumudi Ayala.
Good morning. What? No, I'm on the one presenting, sir. Yes. Can I start, sir? Please. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kaumudi. I'm from St. Mary's College. The title of the paper is From Post to Purchases, the Impact of Social Media Influencers on Online Shopping Decisions. These days, we are not only using Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and everything for just entertainment purpose. We are also using it for online purchase decisions. This study focuses on influencers' trust, credibility, and expertise. Results show that most of the people who are purchasing online mostly depend on the trust of influencers and credibility of the influencers. Introduction. Social media platforms are rapidly growing these days, and the social media influencers are also rapidly growing in this marketing environment. In this, influencers play a major role by sharing reviews, experience, by sharing their personal life, so that we consumers can trust on them. The study examines how influencer qualities and content type affect these consumer decisions in online purchase making. Statement of the problem. Despite the rapid growth of influencers in the outside world, the research methodologists are not able to particularly tell what is the problem, and we consumers don't entirely 100% depend on these purchase decisions only through influencers. Organizations need to have a deep understanding on these influencers. These are few of the literature reviews which we have taken in the study. Research gap. Existing studies provide a limited clarity on these influences. Like, people mostly use secondary data. Before, people used to collect these data through questionnaires and all. Based on that study, these days influencers are also using this secondary data to examine. This is one of the biggest research gap. This is insufficient analysis of specific influencer quality and content formats. Objectives of the study. The main objective of the study is how social media influencers influence our consumers through their influence by promoting the videos and all. The key qualities of social media influencers, such as trust, credibility, and expertise, which of these qualities is the one we consumers are believing in. And how to analyze different type of contents. What type of contents will attract us the most as consumers? Which type of qualities we see in these influencers? Research methodology. We have taken descriptive and analytical research methodology to study the impact of social media influencers on this impact of social media influencers. Primary data was collected through structured. We have created a Google form and spreaded it. We got around 100 to 150 shoppers were selected using convenience sampling. Data was analyzed using percentages and basic statistic tools with trust, credibility, expertise, and content quality. Data analysis. With this data analysis, we understood that we consumers don't entirely depend on these influences. We just take recommendations, suggestions from these influences, but we do not entirely depend. We watch trust and credibility, even though if the influencer is very famous, but we mostly depend on how much we are trusting them, how much genuinely or honestly they are giving the reviews. We depend on them. And the most important thing is we consumers mostly watch short videos, reels, rather than just promotional video. The video should be engaging, not just promotional. They have to include many things, and they have to use the product first and then rely on the product, and then they can share the experience and all. The influences of the influence content varies according to, it varies from customer to customer. Some depend on, if the influencer is more famous, they depend on them. And some depend on the trust and the honest reviews the influencer is giving. Findings of this study. Young consumers, 18 to 25, mostly depend on these influencer content. In back days, people used to mostly depend on traditional advertisement rather than these influencers. But now, it's not these days of traditional advertisement. People mostly depend on these things. Influencer impact on actual purchase decision is moderate, not decisive. As I already told, it's not even moderate. It's just moderate, not completely depending on them. Suggestions. Brands should collaborate with trustworthy and honest influencers. Before giving any product to promote them to influencers, the brand should also look at what are the factors that these influencers are commenting and how much trustworthy they are. Influencer campaign should, like they should evaluate the influencers, how much they are doing their job and how many people are actually buying if these influencers are coming and promoting it, in what way they are promoting it. Conclusion. Social media influencers play a supportive role for these brands, and it's actually one of the important things for marketing strategies too. But there are few influencers who promote it in a wrong way, not all influencers. So we consumers have to look at which influencer is trustworthy and who are giving a honest review before we decide to buy a product. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Once again, I call. The floor is open for questions. If anyone is interested, can ask a question. Miss. Shyam, project that PPT. If anyone is interested to ask any question or any query, please. No questions?
BCom Business Analytics final year. Yes.
And at this stage you're doing it, I think you have a very long way to go. So, Aman, if you can come and speak in front of some seasoned and teachers and researchers that were there. You did it flawlessly. Rafi, we didn't know the writing and the kind of words that you use in our lectures and everything. Appreciate the way you've done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I request all the participants at least please applaud the presenters. Now we'll move to the management presenters. The first presenter in management is Srirangam Yogitha Sai and B. Pravalika. And the title of the paper is Entrepreneurship and Innovation for Bharat at 2047. Before you present it, please give your pen drives or the PPT to our technical team. The next presenter would be Commerce 1, Deborah and Afifa Siddiq. You can give your pen drive to our technical team so that they'll be getting ready with the PPT.
Good morning to respected judges, faculty members, and fellow participants. I'm Srirangam Yogita Sai, and joining me today is my co-author, Mr. and Mrs. Barula Pralika from Nurpatunga Degree College. Today, we are honored to present our research title, Entrepreneurship and Innovation for Bharat at Rate 2047.
Abstract and introduction of my study. Abstract and introduction of my study. As our paper focuses on how entrepreneurship and innovation can transform Bharat into a developed nation by 2047. Today's India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, contributing nearly 4% of GDP and creating over 1.5 million of the jobs. But number of alone do not define success. Sustainability, inclusion, and innovation do. That's it. Where are
Problem and needs. Despite of rapid growth, India's startups still facing is three major challenges. First, early startup funding, so-called valley of death. Second one, high compliance and regulatory burdens. Third, a weak R&D culture in MSMEs. If these issues are not addressed, growth will remain uneven and short-lived.
objectives of my study to analyze and startup growth from 2015 to 2047, to evaluate and government policies effectively, and this is a descriptive study based on entirely secondary data from DP, IIT, and Startup India and Niti Aayog and OECD reports. The timely frame covers a decades of India's startup evaluation. However, the most study focuses on startup quantity, not startups of the quality. There is a clear findings to analyze where India's startups are shifting from consumer-based models to deeply technology and innovation derived of the models.
Newspaper article. As highlighted in this newspaper article, the Honorable Prime Minister has emphasized the startups of the backbone of New India. He stated that last decade has emphasized as a golden era for Indian startups by government initiatives, ease of doing business, and strong innovation, which will empower youth and first generation entrepreneurs. The nation vision clearly aligns with our study, which emphasizes entrepreneurship and innovation are key drives of Indian growth towards Bharat 2047. The data analysis and finding. The data reveals a massive surge from just 4,500 startups in 2015 to nearly 1.25 lakh startups on 2024. Even during the COVID, the ecosystem showed a strength, doubling startup registration in 2020. We also observe a sectorial shift from food delivery, marketing place to EVs, sustainability, AI, and cloud computing.
From case study of Nykaa, Nykaa survives as a strong example of innovation leads entrepreneurship in India. Unlike traditionally marketplace platforms, Nykaa follows as an inventory late of models, which ensures product authenticity and quality control. Addressing a major consumer concerns in the beauty market, its omnichannel of the strategy combines online convenience with the physical retail of the experiences, allowing customers to try products and revive of the consumers and personalized consultation. Additionally, Nykaa, a content-derived approach through a tutorial and influential engagement of the positioning, it's not just as a seller, but as a trust and beauty advisor. This integrated models denominates how India startups and achieving operational maturity and building a long term of the customer trust.
Findings of the study. First, the year 2020 emerged as a major inflection point. Despite of global disturbances caused by pandemic, startup registration doubled nearly to 50,000, showing a strong resilience in Indian startup ecosystem.
Secondly, inclusion of the growth has been strengthened towards in the government schemes such as Startup India's of the PM Mudra Yojana, which enable women and micro entrepreneurs to actively participate in the entrepreneurship.
Third, Indian startups are moving beyond a simple marketplace models towards a greater operational maturity as seen in innovation-led and numerical strategy like of Nike.
Fourthly, the adoption of technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and data analysis has enabled startups and scaling efficiency and improved decision making.
Finally, rising of venture capital investments indicates growing domestic and global investor confidence in Indian startup ecosystem.
Suggestions of my study. John asks gaps. For example, Startups India, a scheming fund, which helps in yearly and funding in developing of the new product, idea and businesses. And second one, strengthening skills and development aligned with the AI and robotic. Like for example, Skill India, which helps students to start up, learn and advance technology.
Third, simplifying regulatory frameworks. Example, Startup India scheme offer easy online registrations and reduce compliance for startups. Conclusion. To conclude, India is uniquely positioned with young workforce, digital interface, and a growing innovation culture. But the success of Bharat at the rate 2047 does not depend upon policies, it depends upon people, especially the youth. We are not the future of India, we are the present builders of India. If entrepreneurship is encouraged with purpose, ethics, innovation, then Bharat at the 2047 will not be a dream. It will be a reality. With this, I want to conclude my presentation. Thank you for your valuable time.
Now the floor is open for queries. Queries from audience. Anyone? Sir, would you like to ask?
Do you think you've identified any challenges or complexities faced by entrepreneurship in this country in the context of Viksit Bharat 2047? Have you made any efforts? Do you think so? If no, what are the reasons? Was there any complexity involved in identifying the challenges?
Obviously, sir. Why? Because nowadays, when new startup companies are coming into the place, but financially or MSME position or any other position, they are unable to open their channel or open the market, and they can't able to start their business. If any other from government we are supporting, automatically we can able to get into the support from in the new startup companies, sir.
Sir, many of the government schemes are not up to the mark, and funding systems should be more, I feel. And ideas are being implemented.
The next paper presentation is from Commerce. I request Ms. Deborah and Afifa Siddiqui to come onto the dais.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Afifa Siddiqui, will be speaking about my title, Smart Stores and Automation Transforming Traditional Retail in the Digital Era. Coming to the abstract, the retail industry has been growing a lot and becoming segmented and very competitive because of the growth in digital channels and advanced retail technologies. Due to this, consumers gain access to more information and also choices, which makes traditional retail stores wanting to advance to more smart stores. Now, the study is based on secondary data, and we use existing review of literature to examine key application of smart stores and their way of introducing themselves into the industry. The study concludes that smart stores have evolved from futuristic concepts into practical reality. Coming to the introduction, a smart store is a physical retail outlet that uses digital technologies to enhance customer experience and improve operational efficiency. Smart stores use artificial intelligence to provide personalized product recommendation, enable cashierless checkouts to reduce waiting time, and apply sensory-based systems for real-time inventory management. The problem statement is, traditional brick-and-mortar retailers struggle to meet the raising customer satisfaction, the demands, and their personalized use of expectations that they get from the retail industries. Now, creating smart stores help retail strengthen customer relationships, their satisfaction.
Number one. Number two, your presentation skills, they definitely matter a lot. Presentation skills do not necessarily mean only English. 3, kindly take the questions if there are any from the gathering. Participants, co-participants, whatever you call them. Try to answer them if you could. And if you are not able to answer them, don't feel sorry. It is a process of learning, mutually benefiting each other. So, and then in the process, try to highlight the objectives and the methodology, conclusions. If there are any suggestions, kindly present them in a nutshell within about 6 minutes, which is the time given to you. 2 minutes is for interaction with the participants here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, before the organizers' request for the questions, I myself request the presenter themselves to see. Now, I would appreciate if you ask the questions. Instead of somebody provoking you, you yourself will be excited.
Presenters can also say, I would appreciate if you don't ask me any questions.
Smart stores help retailers strengthen customer relationships and enhance the overall shopping experience. Now, these are done by adopting small retail solutions and in-store environments, which are by adopting retail solutions in in-store environments are being transformed through these smart store innovations. Now, these are a few review of literature where they all spoke about the normal limited gap of how these smart stores are affecting the people, but they don't focus on the longer or sustainable practices that they use. A research gap. Most studies focus on individual technologies like AI and Internet of IoT, of automation in isolation, examining aspects such as customer behavior, marketing, or inventory management. Now, few adopt integrated approach to show how multiple smart technologies together transform traditional retail stores, whereas only limited research is done on their long-term effectiveness, their sustainability, and their scalability. Objectives of the study. To study the key domains of automation in the retail sector for strengthening operational efficiency, to assess the role of emerging technologies in transforming retail stores into smart stores and their role in enhancing customer engagement and satisfaction, to identify the benefits of smart stores in the digital economy, and also to examine the challenges and barriers involved in implementing retail automation. Now, the research methodology, we use secondary data because
secondary data was much more available for these. We used websites, web sources, media reports, and press releases. Data analysis. Secondary data indicates that smart stores automation improves operational efficiency by reducing manual work, errors, delays in the inventory, billing, pricing, etc. AI and IoT technologies enhance customer experience through personalized product recommendations, faster checkout system, and interactive features such as digital displays and augmented reality. Smart store technologies support omni-channel integration by linking online and offline stores. Data analysis and discussion. The analysis shows that smart retail industry generate large volumes of data, enabling data-driven decision-making. Although smart stores implement requires high initial investment, but later the scalability is very small. Automation leads to transformation of workforce roles, and also the data also highlights implementation challenges such as cybersecurity risk, system integration issues, employee resistance, etc. Findings of my study: operational efficiency due to automation of billing, inventory, pricing, and warehouse functions. Customer experience, AI and IoT and AR enable personalized recommendations in smart stores. Omni-channel integration, which form a link between online and offline stores. Data-driven decision, retailers gain valuable insights for demand forecasting, inventory control, cost optimization. Despite high initial investment, long-term saving arise in a long run. Workforce transformation, employee roles shift towards customer support and digital system management. Implementation challenges, high costs, cybersecurity risks, system integration issues, and regulatory barriers remain a key concern. Suggestions: implementing smart store technologies in phases, starting with the solutions that quickly improve efficiency and customer experience. Maintain a balance between automation and human interaction. Provide regular employee training and strong change management to support technology options. Establish robust data security and privacy measures. A scalable and flexible system to support future growth and changing markets. Data analytics to improve the inventory control. Seek government and industry support, especially for small and medium retailers. Align smart store strategies with sustainable goals such as energy efficiency and waste reduction. Conclusion: smart stores are rapidly evolving with advancement in digital technologies, particularly 5G connectivity, which enables real-time data processing, faster options, and seamless customer interactions. At the same time, increasing environmental awareness in driving retailers to adopt sustainable practices using AI and machine learning. Overall, the integration of 5G, sustainable technologies, and immersive digital tools, that smart stores are no longer a future concept, but a reality transforming retail through efficiency. Thank you. If you do have any questions, please let me know.
I'm just wondering, you're telling about the smart store, and more it's about retailing or e-tailing. But how does this fit into the theme? The theme is navigating complexities in education, research, and technology.
And it comes under technology, sir, since it was part of the topics that were given to us. And coming to retail and all, it helps it helps in general India increase its knowledge regarding how it can transform itself to a better place, because I feel like it's still a developing country, and under developing country, if India does increase the chances of adopting smart stores, it helps a lot in the development of other phases of the sector also.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Afifa.
Any questions, please? Thank you.
The next presentation is from management. I request Leema Nandi and Harika to come onto the desk. After this presentation, Aparna, please be ready with your PPT.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Harika, and my co-author is Lima Nandi here, and we are from Sun Pride Degree College located at Mayapur. So today we are here to give paper presentation on green finance as a catalyst for sustainable economic development. So before going to the paper presentation, first I would like to give the meaning of the title. So, coming to the title, green finance. What actually green finance? So, green finance means it's like funds, and it is also called as financial investment and services. So, how can improve? Catalyst means increase. So, how can we increase our financial investment in a sustainable development way? So, how it will help us in improving our economy? So this is our title. So coming to introduction of our project, as our paper presentation. So the first one is climate change and sustainability changes. So climate change and sustainability changes. So with the, challenges. So climate change and sustainability challenges. So with the climate changes, we are facing threatened problems and sustainability challenges. So how can we improve our challenges? So we improve our challenges by facing with the economic growth only. And here, the second thing is green finance supports low carbon growth. So what is low carbon growth? So low carbon growth means here some governments or else governments are giving direct capital to the few projects like solar, wind. So these kind of projects, they are allowing the capital. So that is called as green finance supports low carbon growth. And coming to the next one, Indian financial systems promoting sustainability. So nowadays our judges, just now they have delivered 2047 as Vikasit Bharat. Here also, we have Indian financial system promoting sustainability by 2070. So the net zero 2070, few projects also introduced by the government also. So this is the introduction of our paper. So coming to the concept of green finance. So in concept of green finance, here we have include green bonds and ESG investment. What actually ESG investment? So here ESG means environmental, social and government. So with the environment, with the social and with the government only, we can increase our opportunities, we can increase our investment. With the increasing of investment only, we can easily improve our economy system. As our recently judges has explained about GDP, we are in 4th place. So if we improve our ESG investment pattern, automatically India will reach in first GDP. So that is the first one. And next one, reduces environmental and financial risk. So in everywhere, financial risk will be there. So how we can reduce the environmental? If we reduce the environmental conditions, automatically financial risk will increase. And next one, the significance of green finance in India. So what is the importance of green finance in India? So automatically, it encourages private investments. So with a private investment, we can have more opportunities and will have more employment opportunities. And it enhances energy security also. Automatically, it will create economic development process. So coming to the core objectives of our study. The first one is green finance in Indian financial system. So green financial Indian system, as I said just now, and at 2070, the net zero, the main core project, if we implement that project, automatically the India will be in first place. And here in our objectives of the study, we have taken 3 companies. One is TCS, and second is Infosys, and third one is Wipro. So based on 3 companies, we have gone through the studies. So those studies will be explained by my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, Harika ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Leema Nandi. So, in our study, we have done descriptive and analytical research. That means ESG. This is actually a report which is presented by each company, corporate company. They have to, must and do, present this report. Because government has, SEBI and government has made it compulsory for their auditing. And the reason for this is to increase the companies, encouraging them in a way so that they invest more and more in green finance. And we have taken the secondary data. This report only we have taken and did the study. Why we took this, limited to this 3 company, IT company, as we see in Hyderabad itself, we can say, major share of IT company, how much they are giving contribution to the Indian financial system, their shares, their bonds, how these are being utilized, how they are growing, how they are making growth. So for that, we choose these 3 top companies. Please. So based on the report, we can see that how green finance, after the green finance term has been introduced in India, it has been actually introduced late. I can't go to the facts. I can't go to that small facts, but it has introduced late. But as soon as it has been introduced, TCS has started applying in 2019 by energy management. Then they came to, when they started, PPA is actually power purchase agreement. That has been done by other company generate solar energy and they purchase it. See how they use one by one. Green tariff is customer. They generate energy and companies, big corporate companies take from them. One corporate company may not have their on-site unit for solar energy. They may also purchase. For doing this kind of activities, from ESG report, they get certain tax reduction. They get certain tax reduction and also, as ma'am said, ESG performance increase investor. Why? That shows how, sir right now says about CSR. That is social responsibility, showing that more investor will go. Ma'am said about bond. I'm going little bit quick, sir. So bonds is actually, we can also buy as a customer green bonds. Many of us don't know about all these things. Why we did this study is, I want to bring the concern of green finance to each and every customer, like us, people like us. If we know about green finance, then more investor will increase, more company, entrepreneurs, corporate companies will apply green finance. And this will make a strong Indian financial system. So, see, both sides it is a win-win. Corporate side is a win-win, government side also it is a win-win. So, environmental development can be also seen with growth of our economy. Sorry being short, sorry sir. Quickly, yeah, anybody have any questions, please? Yeah, please. Yes. Why we have done this? Yes. The main reason, I'm telling you the true reason. So, ma'am, in our commerce subject, OU syllabus itself, ESG is a small topic. We don't know so much about the green finance. If we make it so popular, so this is a simplified form. I didn't make it so hard like reading reports and going in. So if we make it in a, nowadays we also are like, as sir said, we like to binge reels. Similarly, reports also we want to binge it like that. Quickly it should be going on. So we made the study and we made it concrete, little bit small, so that every person can get encouraged in this green finance topic. Basically ESG topic and others are there. We want to bring why it is so important. If companies like TCS, Wipro, they are utilizing this and they are getting such a rate, 79% increase of energy renewable. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, my contribution, yeah. Our contribution is we took the report, yes, for sure. Then we made a study, is it for real or not, with a proper report. Then we made it smaller. Our contribution is making it smaller, readable, and easily available to the people. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I don't think that there is any proper connection between ESG per se and GDP. That you have to examine. That's a sweeping statement you are making, but I will
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. One thing. Actually, we were talking about sorry, sir. Sir, it says that investment risks will be down, and also more investment will be encouraged in the corporates. So when shares and bonds are being sold more on this type of green finance bonds, so environment also gets an opportunity. Even corporates also can earn more because solar energy is being used, right, sir? Yes, sir. Directly has a relation. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What is the purpose of green finance? Yes.
Government, first comes the government. Improving of opportunities. Yeah, first you say.
Sir, green finance main purpose is improving of financial investments.
More in environment. Like we have investment. Corporate, if we say, we see money, earning, profit. But when it comes to green finance, it is like we are making money along with thinking about the ethical view of environment. So it's a financial mechanism to improve environment as well, corporate as well, sir.
If you don't mind. Yeah. As far as my concern, the purpose of green finance is to reduce the emissions. That is the main purpose of the green finance. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, participants. The next presentation is from Commerce. N. Aparna, please come on to the dais. Her paper ID is 29, sir. Next participant, Sumedha and Nityanand Kumar. Please be ready with your PPT.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Aparna from DBPM Degree and PG College, Commerce Department, Assistant Professor. My topic is study on bridging human capital development and sustain technological changes. Abstract. Vikasit Bharat 2047 is an ambitious vision to mark the centenary of its nation. To effectively manage this transition, the study outlines three-tier strategy. First one is the educational transformation, integrating digital literacy. Second one, lifelong learning, moving from continuous learning model. Third one is policy intervention. Yeah, okay. Okay. Human capital is a cornerstone for any nation economic prosperity and sustainable development. As we know that we are in AI era, to achieve this vision, India needs to spend research on development by 2 to 3% on GDP. So this paper highlights how India large pool is contributing for the technological hub. So my paper is mainly concentrated on the NEP promoting the occasional training and integrating the ensure sustainable development. So India needs, okay, statement of the problem and need for the study. The study of human development and technological stages highlights that economic progress not only on the invention, but it is dependent on the continuous productive and utilization of human resources. India's science skill development significantly forms training penetration around 2 to 5%, whereas the developed nations are spending 68 to 96%. If you are seeing South Korea 96%, Japan 80%, Germany 75%, United Kingdom 68, US 52%, whereas India is 18%. So our skill is very less compared to the developed nations. And we can see one more report, India ranks 138 out of 193 countries on the Human Development Index. Need for the problem, sir. 2022, sir. So graphical presentation, we are lagging behind in the research and development also. If you are seeing, developed nations are spending, South Korea, China, Germany, other countries are spending around 96%, where India is spending 2 to 3% on the research and development. So we are in the stage that we have to improve our research and development to develop our economy and to compete with the dynamic world also. So literature review, definitions and concepts of human capital development, technological changes, Niti Aayog, and studies of Pradhan Mantri Kaushalya Yojana, and empirical study, if I taken, effectiveness of vocational training programs, challenges and limitations of capacity building and skill development initiatives. Research gaps, as we know that so many gaps were there, most empirical studies is focused on the developed economies. They are not seeing about the developing nations. They are most focused on the developed economies. And regional disparities. As we know that wherever rural areas are lagging behind, only urban areas we are focused. Cities are growing, but rural areas still is underdeveloped. And we can see that the effectiveness of the recent policy initiatives of NEP 2020 also, technological has not been assessed properly. Objectives of my study of this paper, to identify the skills required for the future workforce in emerging industries, and to analyze the role of industry academic collaboration skill development. There is a need for more industry-relevant training programs, bridge the skill gaps. Methodology, my data is collected from secondary sources, review of existing literature, reports and databases, surveys, interviews of focus group with stakeholders. Data analysis, The data of the present study was analyzed using secondary data related to India, including reports from the Government of India, Economic Survey, NEP 2020, and international database. If you are seeing the data discussion, the findings of the data clearly indicate that a strong and positive relation between the human capital and technological changes. Countries with well-developed human capital is better positioned and they are competitive in the global economy. Findings of my study. First one, role of education in technology adoption. So as we know that due to the NEP policy, many states are coming forward and higher education enrollment also increasing, and impact of skill development. We have Skill Mission India and other Pradhan Mantri schemes. They are reaching the rural areas so that we are getting the good number, people are coming and graduates rates also increasing. Digital literacy and technology inclusion. Many people know about the digital literacy, but still technology inclusion, they are suffering with the knowledge. Which one is a good one, which one is a bad, and data privacy, they are unable to maintain that. And need for the strong industry and academic linkages. So every institution should maintain the good relation and good tie-up with the industry so that they can maintain the practical knowledge, so that they are ready for the market relevant. Suggestions of the study, curriculum modernization. As we know that our curriculum is changed a lot. Now we are interdisciplinary. Commerce students can study the science, and science students can study the commerce. And industry, academic collaboration, internship we are providing, that should be encouraged and that should be improved, and encouraging innovation research. So we know that we have to arrange incubation centers. What do you mean by incubation center? Which will encourage the new ideas, new minds of the graduates. And data-driven digital infrastructure development. As we know that we have to develop our infrastructure. Conclusion, I can say that some of the skills that policy is making, that is a good one, but still it is a continuous learning. It is not only one-day process, lifelong learning, and teacher training program and industry tie-up will give the good results of the sustainable development, and we can achieve the Vikasit Bharat 2047. Thank you for patiently listening. Any queries? Thank you.
See, you have chosen so
Yes.
many topics.
Yes, sir.
There is no focus in your paper.
Okay.
You are talking about national education policy and then so many other objectives. I think it
Okay.
is more a generic newspaper presentation than any systematic study that has been done.
Okay.
This you have to focus on one particular scheme
Okay.
or number of schemes pertaining to agriculture, education, or how technology is used. And then you're telling about rural, urban. Rural, urban statistics also has not been given, because these days, lot of rural areas also are becoming semi-urban and urban. That you have to keep in mind.
Thank you for the suggestions.
I request the participants, please be focused only on your objectives, objectives, research methodology, findings and conclusion. And now, as it is a time constraint, we are restricting the time for each paper presenter to 6 minutes. After 4 minutes, a buzzer will be given. Then please wind it up by 6 minutes. Uh, we have one international paper as a paper presenter is available online. Now we are going with the same paper. It's a commerce paper from commerce track. The paper ID is 53. The paper presenter is Mohammad Zahiruddin.
My name is P. Shivkumar. I am assistant professor in IIMC. So on behalf of Mr. Zahiruddin, I am presenting the paper. I was the faculty member of this college. P. Shivkumar, sir. See, he is online. He is there from Oman. He is online. Sir, నాది ఓపెన్ చేసి ఇది ఆయన రావాలి ఇది అక్కడ రావాలి
దానిలో జాయిన్ యాక్సెప్ట్ కరెంట్
అదే అదే ఆయన హెడ్లైన్ పట్టు హలో జహీర్ ప్లీజ్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ audio wait for some time wait for some
Mr. Shiva, am I audible?
yeah
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. First of all, good morning everyone, and I apologize that I am not available physically, and I am just introducing myself virtually. And on my behalf, Mr. P. Shivkumar will be presenting the paper. Coming to me, I am Dr. Mohammad Zahir, currently working in University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Oman, with a vast experience of 20 years in higher education, spanning teaching, research, and academic leadership. With my regular teaching and student mentoring activities, I also serve as a coordinator for staff professional development, where I focus for faculty development, curriculum quality, assessment alignment, and research capability buildings. My expertise is in finance and accounting, and my research areas includes behavioral finance, sustainable finance, fintech, artificial intelligence in finance and commerce, artificial intelligence in higher education. Basically, because I am in Oman, most of my paper contributions are in Omani context with Vision 2040 of Oman. But as my co-presenter has sent me the theme of this conference, so I have given the conference title, which is basically with Indian context. In addition, I also serve as an educator and external panel member for bachelor, master's and PhD programs across various universities globally. And I again apologize that I am not able to present physically. So Mr. P. Shivkumar will be taking the dais and he will be presenting paper on behalf of me. Thank you. Mr. P. Shivkumar, you can please carry on.
thank you Dr. నా PPT sir, give me 2 minutes of time. 2 minutes of time. నా PPT ఇది మ్యూట్ చేయండి అది ఫోల్డర్ ఉంటుంది ఫోల్డర్ అవి పైన అదో అయ్యాను చిన్న
జరగండి సార్ మీరు నాకు రాబట్టలేదు
Yeah, my title of the paper is Beyond Rational Trust, How Blockchain Smart Contracts Mitigate Information Asymmetry in International Trade Finance. So on behalf of my friend and co-author, I am presenting the paper. So, how blockchain-enabled smart contracts contribute to reducing information asymmetry and fraudulent practices in international trade finance. Contribution, the findings contribute to the literature by consolidating dispersed evidence from academic articles, institutional reports, and global trade databases, proposing a comprehensive conceptual framework to guide future empirical research. Key mechanisms are transparency, traceability, trust between importer and exporter, and automation. No human interaction will be there, sir. Automatically the machine will work with the help of blockchain tools. So here fraud such as document forgery, double financing, and misrepresentation of goods. Blockchain technology has emerged as a transformative innovation capable of addressing these structural inefficiencies. It decentralized and immutable ledger system enables secure information sharing among authorized participants. Smart contracts embedded within blockchain platforms automatically execute contractual obligations when predefined conditions are met. This study conceptually examines how blockchain-enabled smart contracts reduce information asymmetry and fraud in international trade by synthesizing existing academic and institutional evidence. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, statement of the problem and need for the study. Blockchain role in modern trade modernization. Now, these are the systematic reviews we have done for the paper. Blockchain technology in international trade, smart contracts and trade automation, and information asymmetry in international trade. Fraud in trade finance, trust and transparency as enabling mechanisms. Okay. So, all the existing literature acknowledges the potential of empirical findings. Transparency, trust, and automation collectively reduce information asymmetry and fraud. See, this is the theme of the paper, sir, conceptual framework. This is the conceptual framework, sir. Yeah, this is. Yeah. The study has comprehensively examined the transformative role of blockchain-enabled smart contracts, mitigating the prospective issues of information asymmetry and fraud in international trade through the metasynthesis of secondary data and recent institutional case studies. 24-25, the research demonstrates that transition from paper-based relational trust to code-driven algorithmic trust. This is the main theme, sir. Results in profound efficiency gains. The data analyzer consistently shows that 80 to 90% of reduction in document processing times and 46% improvement in verification accuracy. These metrics confirm the trust gap which traditionally facilitated double financing and document forgery. So these are the recommendations, sir. For financial institutions and policymakers, the findings suggest that technology alone is insufficient without legal harmonization. The adoption of the model law on electronic transferable records, MLETR, is essential to provide the legal teeth required for smart contract enforcement across jurisdictions. Managers are encouraged to move towards interoperable ecosystems rather than soil private chains to maximize the liquidity benefits of tokenized trade assets. Conclusion. See, these are all as regulatory frameworks like markets in crypto assets, MICA, and model of law on electronic transferable records, MLETR, mature. The integration of algorithmic trust will likely become the standard requirement for participation in the global financial ecosystem. As the study relies exclusively on secondary data, no human participants were involved. This is the main theme, sir. Ethical considerations include proper citation of all sources, avoidance of plagiarism, accurate representation of original findings. Thank you. No human interaction will be there. Automatically blockchain tools will work. So if any questions is there, you please kindly ask the questions. This is a latest technology. All the banks are following this technology. I will answer the questions regarding this paper. Bandhan Bank is there, for example, so no human interaction will be there. Bank follow the blockchain tools, so automatically the machine will take care of everything. Once data is stored on the machine, it will not be erased. So here, 95% of the minimal errors will be rectified, not 100% accuracy, because of the automated machine. So blockchain is a decentralized shared ledger, which will stop the total information. That is called as information asymmetry. Exporters, it is information between the exporters and importers. Suppose one person is having the more information, other will have the unequal information. This works in the shipment of supply chain management, shipping. Right, right. Thank you, sir. It is secondary data, madam, because of the journals. Yes, yes, through the review of literature and conceptual framework.
Thank you, Shivakumar Garu. Now the next paper presenter from management, Sumedha Arya and Dr. Nityanand Kumar. And the paper ID is 17.
Good morning, one and all. I'm Sumedha, and I am working with Vauxhall University into the capacity of AGM Corporate Relations, and I am doing my PhD with SR University. So my research topic is revolving around the employability quotient. So today's topic I've decided is, for today's presentation, this research paper is From IQ to EMQ. Understanding the yeah.
Sorry to stop your flow. My apologies. See, I'm just wondering how this can fit into the general theme of complexities in education, research and technology. I have difficulty in finding out.
Sir, I really appreciate questions, sir. When we speak about research and innovation, this study actually focuses the conventional methods of hiring or recruitment of freshers and how we can integrate the dynamism of career hiring into present era. So there is a term called IQ and EQ. So I have made this term as an EMQ. EMQ is an integrated framework which would actually serve need of the hour, where the academia and industry is not aligned. So that way I correlate with the theme. Thank you. So, as I started my answering, sir, career aspirants today requires a shift from IQ-centric models to EMQ-driven models. EMQ is a combination of IQ and EQ skills. And when we compare the conventional methods of hiring, there was a combination of quantitative skills and their technical skills and all. And now EMQ has evolved as a holistic approach of their emotional intelligence, adaptability and learning agility, communication and collaboration, along with the problem-solving skills. Key findings after my study, after the entire study, I found that higher employability quotient would faster or expedite the career progression. And this study or the finding implies on, the implication would be on higher education institutions, as in they can integrate EMQ models into their curriculum and assessments. Students and professionals, they can adopt it for their career advancement. And to the recruiters, the corporate, the clients with whom I do work, they can use it as a strategical assessment tool. So here I have compared the conventional method and the dynamism of current era, because there is a continuous skill obsolescence. When we speak about the technological upgradations, there is an obsolescence. So if you integrate these things, the IQ-centric assessments, along with the key skills which are demanded, adaptability, resilience, collaboration, the word EMQ evolves. And then, in turn, it enhances the workforce readiness. Need of this study, as I've told you, there is a huge gap in between academia and the industry. Academia are the delivery partners, and the industry is actually the demanding party or the authority. So when we are aligned with their expected skills, then the actual result, the integrated result or the fruitfulness of the career success would be achieved. This study, actually, this paper I have, there are many studies going on, but I have limited my study to from 22 to 25, whatever skills reports, and these studies from 2022 to 25, I have just gone through the papers and done this research. So with this study, I found there is lack of integrated models which are actually assessing the holistic approach or a holistic skill quotient. And there is a limited predictive focus because inadequate employability constructs are found. Context-specific frameworks, wherein globally these studies speak about employability quotient and how we can elevate it. In Indian context, there are still some limitations. Yeah, I'll just wrap up. So objective of this study is, already I have briefed you, I'll just skip quickly. Research methodology, it's on secondary based data and my actual experience. Data analysis, again, the detailing on the knowledge, skills, attitude and competencies. And keep this, I will take more time to explain this. This is the professional growth continuum, provided the organizational or learning ecosystem. When a prospect is moving to the growth or a learning stage, he or she should have skill, knowledge and attitude, and that at the renewal stage, at the, you may say the finishing stage, the integrated competencies have to be injected and then they will grow. This is how this professional growth continuum I have displayed. Suggestion is we need a standardized tool, and then yeah, these standardized tools, I would just take a minute for explaining this. I've been in this industry for past 17 years, and with due respect to, just a minute, sir. Okay. So I would like to quote an example of Unisys and EPAM Technologies. They have integrated this model, and they just take people for 3 to 4 months of internship. They develop these skills and then they absorb them. So so I would like to end by a statement. They say, think before you act. They say, think before you act. I say, act before you aspire for a career. A stands for aptitude, communication, and technology. Thank you. I would like to have your suggestions and feedback. I feel very, incapable of answering your questions if it is beyond the study, but yeah, I would like to invite any feedbacks and suggestions. Thank you. Yeah, please, ma'am. Yeah, that's how I actually quoted an example of Unisys UIP program and EPAM program. Unisys is a program wherein Unisys company has actually invited the 3rd year and 4th year students. You're done with your curriculum, whatever your higher education institution has decided, and then I would urge the higher educations to give them a feasibility or flexibility to enter into the corporate and learn the working atmosphere and then integrate their talent into the actual workplace. So through Unisys, it is happening. Through EPAM, it is happening. So thanks to these, there might be many companies as well, because now the shift has changed. So that way. Only the flexibility is the need of the hour from the higher education. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumedha ma'am. Now I invite the next paper presenter, Professor S. Pratap Garu from Commerce track. So paper number is 32, Commerce. After Pratap sir, from Management it would be Narendra Tappa, paper number 20. Please get ready with your PPT, sir. Thank you. I once again request all the paper presenters regarding the time. It's a very big constraint. Please focus on your objectives, methodology, and findings.
Hello. Am I audible? Yes. Yeah. Very good afternoon, sirs. Respected dignitaries of the dais and fellow paper presenters and student friends. I am Dr. S. Pratap. I am the JNTU affiliated colleges faculty members, Sri Chaitanya Technical Campus. Today's my paper, I am going to present Building a Competitive India, the role of commerce and business management in Viksit Bharat 2047, a conceptual study. So, my dear, a human being requires 2 eyes, 2 ears to listen effectively. Likewise, a business also requires 2 eyes, that are commerce and management. Without commerce, without management, we cannot run the business effectively. So that's why I selected this topic in a nutshell manner. So, of course, it is the dream of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Of course, it is the dream of ours also. By the 2047, we are going to be developed. We are going to be become a developed person. Okay. So, this study relating to the commerce and business management, it's a critical driver in the shaping of the Viksit Bharat 2047. So it is a vision of becoming a developed country, self-reliant nations and globally competitive nations by 2047. So commerce, in this case, I have taken 2 areas, that is commerce and management. So commerce education is equipped with learners with analytical, technological and financial skills needed for the dynamic market environment, whereas the management frameworks such as the strategic planning, leadership development, supply chain efficiency and corporate governance, so can enhance productivity and competitiveness across the sectors. So emphasis is placed on importance of globalization, digitalization, startup ecosystem, sustainability-driven business models, and global trade integration in accelerating India's growth trajectory. So the findings reaffirm that a robust financial literacy, business efficiency, and informed economic decision making. Whereas management education develops leadership skills, strategic thinking skills, organizational capacity, operational efficiency, and corporate governance essential for manage the complex business environment. So commerce and management foster entrepreneurial mindsets, support startups, fintech, digital commerce, and service sector growth, aligning with Indians' innovation-led development agenda. It emphasizes the multidisciplinary learning, industry collaboration, digital skills, and experiential educational strengthen the opposite. So in order to, so I have identified a small experiment to develop this paper. For that I identified 4 objectives. That objectives are related to the examining the contribution of commerce and business management education. And second objective is to analyze the role of business management practices. And third objective to evaluate the technical advancements of digital transformation. And the fourth one is to identify the challenges and opportunities of the commerce and business management. So for that, I identified the research methodology. It is purely relating to the descriptive and analytical research design. Moreover, it is relating to the qualitative approach and identify this entire research relating to the secondary data. So coming into the discussions. So discussion underscores the commerce and business management education is central to achieve the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 by creating a skilled, adaptable, and ethically grounded human beings. So policy reforms such as NEP 2020 provides a strong framework for effective implementation, and faculty upskilling are critical. Strengthening industry academia collaboration and entrepreneurship ecosystem is essential for innovation-led growth. So the findings collectively suggest that integrated education, technology adoption, and governance reforms are necessary to translate economic potential into sustainable development. So according to the objectives, what I found, finding 1, commerce and business management education significantly contribute to the building of a skilled human capital for 2040 to Viksit Bharat 2047 by developing financial, managerial, digital, and ethical competencies aligned with NEP 2020. Finding 2, strategic business management. So the findings 3 and 4 are there relating to this. So my suggestion is strengthening the industry academia collaboration, revise and modernize the curriculum, enhance digital and managerial skills, promote entrepreneurial and innovations, strengthening the corporate governance and ethics, and expand research and policy management, support MSMEs and rural entrepreneurs. So thank you for, my conclusion is, the study highlights the commerce and business management education play a crucial role to develop skilled human capital by fostering financial literacy, analytical ability, digital competence, and effective communications. So thank you for sparing me. Thank you very much. So please, audience, if you have any questions, please ask me without any hesitation. So I am going to provide the answer for them. So thank you for giving me time to spare with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As time management is part of judgment for giving away the prizes, we request the participants to hold on to the time. Now I call upon Narendra Tappa from management. ID number is 20. 20.
Respected judges, my fellow scholars and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity. I think I would like to enjoy the last part of the presentation where no questions are asked. So on that premise, my topic has been, which I have lived for life now, is being 20 years of HR experience in healthcare. So institutionalizing emotional intelligence in healthcare from the context of L&D, which drives a culture building activity in hospitals. And I've restricted my study to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh tertiary care hospitals, which are more than 100 bedded. So that's a focus area. Of course, the abstract covers the entire landscape of healthcare, where emotional intelligence becomes a very critical aspect of the entire treatment process. We believe that medicine treated patients, I, as an experienced HR professional of healthcare, can say that it is not only medicine, it is beyond that, and emotional intelligence is one being such strong thing. Hence the necessity for me, I thought I should spend and sort of authenticate my learning for the last 20 years in this field. The introduction covers the emotional labor that goes into any healthcare providers, may it be the doctors, nurses, paramedics, or any other non-clinical workforce also who are indulged in the treatment process. It of course lacks a structured approach towards solutioning. EI is very much there. Nowadays all the corporate hospitals are talking about it, but what lacks clearly is the structured approach towards it. The statement problem, as I see, is a deeply influenced caregivers' involvement in the entire EI as a concept. What really lacks today is an L&D approach, the training and development approach, which should have a cultural driving framework. And designing and evolving such framework is going to be a challenging task. Quickly, of course, I have gone through a lot of research as a research scholar, as told by the guides and the professors. We have to deep dive into a lot of research papers who have already worked in this field. To my shock and surprise, there's a lot of work done in this field, but what I found is significant gap in certain areas. Again, I've gone through about 5 years of the research papers. What lacked was a limited studies which actually focuses on the institutionalization of the approach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am actually a full-time employee of Medversity as HR head, but I am doing a PhD in SR University. Basically, sir, it's a fantastic team because navigating navigating the entire education research gaps to fit in the contemporary world to benefit. So such research topics which are there in healthcare. Right. There are a lot of complexities around the Right. Sir, the complexity lies in the entire conceptual framework design. medicine cannot be successful if the emotional part of the caregivers are taken care. Hence, it is a primary focus that I thought should be given so that it can be integrated. The entire navigation of the entire workforce is required to this effect. That's why I thought applying for such a conference would be useful. And of course, the part of the Viksit Bharat which attracted me to come here. Absence of L&D centric frameworks. There are L&D focus, but the centric framework is not there, which mounts on EI as a concept. Empirical evidences are very lack. The data is more theoretical in nature. So can I add some practicality of it? The emerging and the rapidly scaling healthcare requirement. India being such a large country, we need to really focus on scaling up of healthcare to provide the care to the kind of population that we are. I'm left with 2 minutes, I guess. So objectives, as I took the objectives in 3 tranches, one is to establish the as-is of the problem statement. The second is the desired outcome that is focused on L&D interventions that should be designed. And the last but not the least, the assessment of actual impact. So can it be divided into 3 stages like this? Of course, research methodology, like any other scholar, sir, have been very, very theoretical in the approach. To stick to the topic, there are no qualms about it. We have to go by what is done in this methodology as a concept. Some analysis I have done because I have taken a quick sample of 50 employees who are doctors and nurses. Again, it was done through some questionnaire, some interaction with the doctors and some of the experience. Not great, but this gives me certainly a direction to deep dive when I actually arrive with my data set. Analysis part, of course, it started with acceptance of the resistance to change, sources, constraints, sustainability, measurement gap. So the analysis has to be focused in these areas, and my data is going to support that. Quickly, the findings of the study would give tailor-made training interventions, help us design experiential training opportunities for the workforce, integrate the coaching and the mentoring models, because as adults, it will be tough to train the employees if coaching and mentorship is not involved. And of course, to scale up, digital learning platforms have to be used. So that's pretty much what I wanted to summarize, sir. And conclusion, only 3 points. I beg 30 seconds. EI in critical for sustainable healthcare performance improvement. L&D plays a very strategic and critical role. Some frameworks as sequence equation modeling has to be provided. I am assuming that I would be able to apply empirical data collection method for my research. And that's it. I have some references. Thank you very much. Any questions if you have, I'll be more than happy. And this is beyond my time. Yeah. This is basically standard equation modeling, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir, that's structured. I mean, we have to get into some structure because all the EI studies that I have gone through so far, sir, it has given all theoretical aspect of it. The structure was clearly lacking as per my understanding. Right. Yeah, thank you so much. Great being here. Thank you so much.
I thank you very much, sir. And as it is 1:30, I request the participants for the break for lunch. And I also request the participants, please carry your food coupons. If food coupon is there, then only plate will be given. Please carry your food coupon, and within half an hour,
charging with the 2 o'clock,